Hey everyone, welcome back to English Mastery, the podcast. I'm Emily, and I'm so happy to have you here today. If you're learning English and sometimes get confused between past tense and present perfect tense, don't worry, this episode is for you. Today, I'll tell you real stories, share simple explanations, and help you feel how native speakers use both tenses in daily life. We'll move slowly, use easy vocabulary, and practice together step by step. So, find a quiet place, relax, and get ready to listen, repeat, and shadow my voice. Because remember, the more you listen and speak, the more natural your English will become. Let's begin. Part 1. My first job, using the past tense. Let me start by telling you about my first job. I got my very first job when I was a teenager. I worked at a small bookstore in my town. It was quiet, cozy, and smelled like paper and coffee. I opened the store every morning. I cleaned the shelves. I helped customers find books they liked. Sometimes I read during quiet hours. I worked there for 1 full year. It wasn't easy, but I learned so much. I learned how to talk to strangers, how to handle money, and how to be patient. At that time, I didn't have a car. I walked to work every day, even in the rain. I remember one winter morning when it snowed heavily. I arrived late, my shoes were wet, and my hands were freezing. But when I saw the warm lights of the shop and smelled the fresh coffee, I smiled. That was when I realized I actually loved working. All of these actions, worked, walked, learned, opened, cleaned, happened in the past. They are finished actions. That's why we use past simple tense. Let's practice together. Repeat after me. I worked at a bookstore. Good. I learned how to be patient. Excellent. I walked to work every day. Perfect. Now, let's move to what happened after that job. Part 2. My career, using the present. Perfect. After I left the bookstore, my life started changing. I have worked in many different places since then. I have taught English to students around the world. I have met amazing people. I have learned something from every job. Do you notice the difference? When I say, I worked at a bookstore, it's finished. That part of my life is over. But when I say, I have worked in many places, I'm talking about my experience until now. It's still part of my life today. That's why we use present perfect. Let's practice. Repeat after me. I have worked in many different places. I have met amazing people. I have learned new skills from every job. Good job. Part 3. Travel stories, past and present. Perfect in action. Traveling is another big part of my life. I started traveling when I was in college. My first trip abroad was to Italy. I visited Rome, Florence, and Venice. I saw the Colosseum. I ate pizza, pasta, and gelato. It was one of the happiest weeks of my life. But that trip happened long ago. It's finished. So, I use past simple. I visited Italy. I saw the Colosseum. I ate gelato every day. Now, let's use present perfect for travel experience. I have visited Italy many times. I have eaten pizza in Rome and in New York. I have traveled to more than 10 countries. See the difference? Past simple is about when it happened. Present perfect is about the experience itself. Here are a few more examples. I went to Japan in 2018. That's past simple, a clear time in the past. I have been to Japan. That's present perfect, no time, just experience. Let's practice together. I visited Japan in 2018. I have been to Japan before. I saw the Eiffel Tower last year. I have seen the Eiffel Tower before. Excellent. You're doing great. Part 4. Health and habits, connecting the two tenses. Let's talk about health. When I was younger, I didn't care about my health much. I ate a lot of junk food. I slept very late. I skipped breakfast almost every day. That was my lifestyle in the past. But 5 years ago, I made a change. Since then, I have exercised regularly. I have eaten more vegetables and fruit. I have slept at least 7 hours every night, and I have felt so much better. Let's compare. I didn't care about my health. Past. I have cared more about my health in recent years. Present perfect. Now repeat after me. I used to eat fast food every day. I have stopped eating fast food. I didn't go to the gym before. I have gone to the gym for 3 years. Perfect. These sentences show how present perfect connects the past and now. It shows progress, how something started in the past and continues today. Part 5. Learning and growth. Learning English has been one of my biggest journeys. I started learning when I was in school. At first, I hated grammar. I thought it was too hard. But then I watched English movies, listened to songs, and suddenly I understood something. Learning can be fun. I studied English for many years. I made mistakes. I forgot words. I mixed up tenses, but I didn't give up. Over time, I have improved a lot. I have spoken with native speakers. I have read many books in English. I have listened to hundreds of podcasts. I have even taught English to others. So again, past simple tells what I did before. Present perfect tells what I have done until now. Let's practice. I started learning English when I was in school. I have studied English for many years. I watched movies in English. I have watched hundreds of movies since then. That's how you show your English journey clearly and naturally. Part 6. Quick grammar review. Let's quickly review the rules before we move to the last part. We use past simple for completed actions in the past, clear time expressions, yesterday, last week, in 2010. Past situations no longer true. Examples. I lived in Canada in 2015. I worked at a coffee shop for 2 years. I met my best friend in high school. We use present perfect for life experiences with no specific time. Actions that started in the past and continue now. Actions with results in the present. Examples. I have lived in Canada for 10 years. I have worked in education since 2012. I have just met my new neighbor. Now practice switching between the two tenses. I visited Spain last summer. I have visited Spain many times. I started my job in 2020. I have worked here for 5 years. I watched that movie yesterday. I have already watched that movie. Perfect. Part 7. My dreams and reflections. Finally, let me tell you a little about my dreams. When I was younger, I wanted to be a writer. I wrote short stories in notebooks. I dreamed about publishing a book one day. That was my dream in the past. But over the years, my dream has changed. Now I have focused more on teaching and helping people learn English around the world. I have recorded many lessons, written guides, and shared tips online. I have received kind messages from learners saying my podcasts helped them feel confident. Those messages always make me smile. So yes, I didn't become a writer in the traditional sense, but I have written many words just in a different way, through lessons, stories, and podcasts like this one. Now, think about yourself. What have you done so far in your life? What have you learned? What goals have you achieved? And what did you do in the past that helped you grow? If you can answer these questions in English, You're already becoming fluent. Part 8. Practice time. Talk about your life. Now, I want you to practice. Use both tenses to describe your own life. Here are some prompts. Talk about your first job. I worked as a waiter. I have worked in 3 different restaurants. Talk about your travel experience. I visited France in 2019. I have visited Europe twice. Talk about your learning. I started learning English 2 years ago. I have studied English for 2 years. Talk about your hobbies. I played the guitar in high school. I have played the guitar since I was 15. Do this every day. Speak out loud. Repeat. You'll feel the difference in your fluency very soon. And that's it for today, my friend. You've just learned how to use past tense and present perfect tense in real conversation. You've listened to stories, practiced examples, and even reviewed the grammar in a natural way. Remember, English is not just about rules. It's about connection, stories, and expression. So keep listening, keep repeating, and keep believing in yourself. If you do this daily, you'll see real progress. This is English Mastery, the podcast, and I'm Emily. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, keep learning, keep speaking, and keep growing. See you next time.